What is up, go-getters? I am so happy to be back. I'm just getting back from Vegas, and so I took a little bit of time off from my channel. It was much needed. Me and hubby hung out there and just rested and all of that good stuff. But I'm super happy to be back with you guys. So today I want to talk about a really important topic that can help you in your life and in your business, and that is the mindset. We're going to be talking about negative thinking, okay, today. So I'm really excited about that. So if you are new here, a big, huge welcome to this channel. My name is Dallas Gordon. I am a business mentor as well as a business owner. I've been a business coach for about 8+ years. I also own the Journal Junk Box, which is a subscription box, as well as a sister company, dgjournals.com. And my aim is to inspire and help as many entrepreneurs as well as people in general as possible to let God shine through in your life to fulfill your unique and beautiful purpose by just showing up every day, living and inspiring others. So I definitely encourage you to stick around for this video to the end. Drop me your comments, check out the description box for any resources that I have for you, and definitely connect with me across platforms because I'm always dropping content every little place I am. Okay, so the mindset, guys, the mindset, let's get into it. I actually brought some notes here, and something that is new, I actually even brought some scriptures. So for those of you who are into one of the greatest books of all time, which is the Bible, I actually have some scripture for y'all today. Okay, so but either way, you will be able to get a lot from this conversation, and I would love to talk to you in the comments about your thoughts about this topic. So the question here is, I want to think right thoughts every day in life and entrepreneurship, but I really can't seem to control my negative thinking. So if that's you and you feel like you really want to get in control of your negative thinking, you really want to get ahead of your thoughts, but you're having trouble doing that, this video is going to be for you, okay? Or if you know you could think better thoughts and you know you could do better around areas of your mindset, which really we probably all could, you're in the right place. So the first problem, okay, that I want to talk about when it comes to your mindset is that you don't believe that you deserve higher and you don't believe that you deserve better. And that's one of the reasons that you feel stuck. So what I want you to know is that you are more than enough, okay? And just like you hold your children, if you have children, just like you hold your children in the highest light or the highest regard, that's the same space that God holds you. So I think a lot of you may be feeling like, or you may be feeling like you don't deserve higher and better in life. You don't deserve to have that thing that you pray for. You don't deserve to have that thing, that job that you ask God for. You don't deserve to have that move in your business, that breakthrough in your business that you've been hoping for and trying to manifest for so long. You really deeply inside don't believe that you actually deserve it. And that's one of the reasons that you feel stuck. So God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think. And that's in Ephesians 3:20. God will and can do, okay, and has done exceedingly and abundantly above all that we could ever ask or think. And one of the things I want to share is I think I had published a video probably on YouTube, so definitely check it out, or Instagram, definitely check me out over there as well. But I had published a video about this topic, about how to deal with disappointment. And disappointment comes when you have set your sails to go a certain place, you set your goal list to accomplish certain things, you have set your sights on achieving a particular thing. So you've set your sails on going a particular place, and when you aren't able to arrive there in the exact time frame, the exact way, the exact landing that you expected to have, you tend to get very frustrated with yourself, your business, your circumstances, and some of you are getting frustrated with God. So one thing that I encouraged, those who saw this video, and I'm encouraging you today to do, is to look back over your disappointment. Face your disappointment. So when was the last disappointment you had? A time that you were feeling stuck in your life? Look back to that situation and ask yourself, did I stay there and how did I get out? So when I look back over my life at all the dark places I was in or all the disappointments I was having, when I look back, right, every single time, I may not have understood where I was at that time, but God brought me out. Let me give you guys an example of this, okay? So, story time. Some years ago, my husband and I purchased our first, like it's been over probably 10 years ago now, but we purchased our very first single family home. We owned a home prior to that, but it was like a townhouse. So it was our very first single family home. We worked very hard to get in this house. We were a young couple. We had two small children at the time. And we worked really, really hard to get this house. So this house was just like the dream. A stone front. It was over, I think, 3,000, 4,000 square feet, something like that. Big inside, cathedral ceilings, was just a gorgeous home, but it did need some work. So we finally got into the house. And once we got into the house, I felt like the energy of the home wasn't right. So every year, guys, every single year, I tried to convince my husband for us to move out of the house. You can imagine how disappointing this was for him, because really he probably worked a bit harder than me to get us in this house. And now his wife isn't happy in the house, right? I wasn't happy with the energy of the house. I got fixated on a house, y'all, right down the street from the new home I'm in now, okay? This home was built from the ground. And down the street from it was a home right down the street. I mean, doors down. I mean, I could walk a couple blocks down and touch the house. So this particular house, I was fixated on this house. I wanted this house, right? My husband was like, this is just not the time for us to move. You know, if we were to get into a mortgage like that, like we wouldn't be able to breathe. Like, this is just not the time. And I was so angry with him. And I remember being so angry with him and so angry with God that I really wanted something that for years that I could not have. I just remember feeling so disappointed. Well, fast forward 2 years after that, we literally stood on the ground of this home and took pictures here because we were getting a brand new home, bigger than that one, beautiful home. We got to pick our options and all that kind of stuff. 2 years later, we were building a home right up the street from that older home. Okay. And we don't know what problems we would have ran into there or how we wouldn't have been happy seeing all these new homes built around us. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that even in a situation where I thought it was my worst, God was already making preparation for my best. So that's a great example of what I'm saying when I talk about like dealing with disappointments and learning to trust in those moments because greater is coming. Okay. So maybe it's not that you are thinking too big. Maybe it's that you're thinking too small when you find yourself in disappointing situations because you have put a box around your exactly what expectations you want. And when life is not lifing the exact way that you think it should, or you gave a specific thing and things are not coming to you in the exact way that you think that they should, you get in a funk about it because you are limiting yourself. And I believe in situations like that, the key is to think much bigger, okay? Because your greater is happening for you right now. Now that we know how God thinks of us, and now that we know how we should be thinking and how God holds us in high regard, so you should be holding yourself in high regard. Now you can free yourself from shorting yourself and feeling like you are undeserving of the thing that you prayed for. I feel like some of you are guilty for what you are asking God for. And another thing I want to say is this, and it's kind of like off right a little bit, but one of the things I want to say is I feel that some of you are wanting to, and I actually did a little video about this too, and it's probably why it's coming through again. Some of you, I feel like you're wanting to make a change. You're wanting to make a pivot in your messaging, your business. You feel like you should be reaching more people. You feel like it's more stuff that you should be saying. You feel like it's more stuff that you should be doing. and you feel like you need some sort of big introduction or explanation of the change, let me tell you something. You don't need that. You don't need to go around to all of your friends or family members or go around to all of your business colleagues or customers and clients and say, hey, I'm going to be talking about God a little more, or I'm going to be talking about positivity a little more, or I'm going to be pivoting my message a little more. You don't need to do that. When you want to change, you can literally wake up tomorrow and be different if you choose to. You can literally choose to show up in your higher self this next moment without any big announcement, without any apology about it. So I just wanted to say that as well, that you deserve the absolute best. Don't you forget it, okay? Number 2 is it's not take one day at a time, it's take one thought at a time. Take every thought that is contrary to what God says about you. You're supposed to actually take it captive. And that's in 1 Corinthians 10:5. So you're supposed to take every thought that is contrary to the positive. You're supposed to actually captivate that thought. That's how violent, right? It is. You know what it's like to capture something? That's just how violent you're supposed to be about negative thoughts. Remember, everybody gets them. Negative thoughts comes towards every person. Even the most positive person in the room has negative thoughts to come, but they don't belong to you, right? Unless you accept them. Okay. So captivity means being imprisoned or confined. So you are literally supposed to take those thoughts and put them in prison. Confine them if they are not lining up to what God says about you. If they are not lining up to who you are, your higher self, who you are. So it's important to do that as well. Okay, so I always say that it takes one thought at a time, not one day at a time. I remember, guys, that I went through like a really hard time as a young adult, and I was a single mom for a little while. And my first marriage had failed miserably. And at the end, I was left picking up the pieces of my soul, my emotions, my nervous system, everything. And I was just a nervous wreck. And for somebody like me, and for anybody else out there that's going through this, I could not take one day at a time. That wasn't going to work for me. I could not just sit and take one day at a time. I had to actually take one thought at a time. So for those of you that are struggling with negative thoughts, I encourage you to stop taking one day at a time, because that's too long. You're going to have to take this one thought at a time and bring those thoughts into subjection that are not in obedience to where you're looking to go. So you're looking to go high places, right? You're looking to have high-mindedness. You're looking to think on the good things. So when you have thoughts that come your way that are contrary to where you're trying to go or where you're heading, you got to captivate those thoughts and not be playing games with those negative thoughts. So that's a thought by thought process versus it being a day by day process. So I just wanted to bring that up. When you think a negative thought, you want to take it by force. You want to take, I got my phone here with my notes because I don't want to ramble off. I want to make sure that I give you everything. Okay. So what you're experiencing in your life, whether it is good or bad, it is a direct response to your thoughts. That is biblically and scientifically proven that your thoughts affect your life. Okay. I know you've heard, quotes like if you dream it, if you think it, if you dream it, you can do it and all that kind of stuff. That stuff is true, but it all relates back to your mind. The third thing I want to bring up is, will you surrender? You think you know what you want for your life, but what if God has a higher plan? What if there is another plan for your life? And I saw something that came up that was really, really good today, and I shared it. And I'm just going to look back and see what I shared. It says, don't let your vision for your life get in the way of God, because sometimes the vision that you have for your life is one thing. Have you guys ever seen that photo floating around like a map, right? And one side says your plan, and it just looks like one small house with one top floor, one basement, one first floor, one door. But then you see God's plan, and it's just like this complicated mansion with all these narrow hallways and all these different directions that you can go and all this kind of stuff. That is literally sometimes what it looks like. Sometimes we have one plan for our life, but the Creator has a whole nother plan and a whole nother thing that is going to happen with us that we're being led and guided to. So will you surrender? I'm asking you today, will you open your heart up to that plan that God has for you? Will you open yourself up? Will you surrender? Will you be open? Because literally, it's never, in the end, it's never disappointing. You may have asked for one thing, and you might have been, sweetie, you might have been aiming too small, okay? You might have been aiming too small for that thing you were asking for, when God wants to bless you so much more than what you asked for, what you could ever ask or think. So I just want to ask you, will you trust? Will you open yourself up? Will you surrender? Okay. So that's all I really have today about the negative mindset, how to get rid of that. Surrender is all about trust. So I really do feel like that ties in. I have this dialogue going on in me sometimes where I'm like, okay, I get these messages like this that I need to share and I need to put them somewhere. And my channel right now is just full of like business stuff and like some little spiritual stuff when I was on some of my spiritual journey stuff, and like now this. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting all these messages and I want to be obedient and I want to share them. But how is this going to lead me to sell? How is this going to get somebody to sign up to my coaching program? But what I want you to understand, make your agenda God's agenda. See the bigger picture. You are here to make, you're on this video, listening to this video, and you stayed all the way to the end. And let me know in the comments if you got all the way to the end of this video. I just want to know. But you stayed all the way to the end of this video because you are called to make a greater impact than the small impact. Maybe you were playing a little too small. Maybe what you thought you were supposed to do, yeah, you're going to do that and you're going to do fragments of that, but you have been called to make a greater impact. And when you are called like that, when you answer the call, your coaching program is going to fill up, right? Your agenda is definitely going to be taken care of, especially when you're about God's agenda. Your agenda is definitely going to be taken care of. Sometimes it all doesn't make sense right now, but it will make sense if you continue to follow the course. Stay the course. Follow the path you're on. Say yes. Say yes to what your soul or your spirit or whatever word is saying, and show up for that boldly. Don't worry about the clients that aren't going to want to listen, that are going to want to tune out, that you may grow out of, or vice versa. Don't worry about all of that. Just continue to show up for what and do what you know you've been called to do. Okay, so don't forget to like, share this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you would like to, and definitely check out the description box for the different resources that I have for you. I also have an amazing program called the Purpose Driven Business Collective, where we are just an open, fun group. We talk about stuff like this. We talk about inner work. We also talk about getting to the money as well and how to do that online. I'm teaching some of my strategies as well there. So it's just a very open, fluid space where anything can happen, honey. But the magic can happen. So definitely check that out as well. So be blessed. Sending you so much love. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you around soon.